this man, a living legend, Johnny Rods. Now, Johnny, you have a whole slew of students in this title tournament. Any thoughts?
All the thoughts are good. Matt Daddy Flex is okay. Everybody's okay. But you know what? There's one guy that's not holding his good, and that's the one and only Joe So Delicious. You know, he wasn't disrespecting me. Like, hey, wait a minute. I tell you what.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Oh my God! Back near me again. I told you, next time I see you know what? You know what, right? What? Oh my God! Come on, get up! Get up! Get up!
Another day, another time, Rods. You get the one up on this one.
I told you,
but there'll be another day.
You know what?
No, you know what? Another day, another time.
I said,
Rods.
don't get yours on there.
Listen, I don't care how many people you paid off to get in the Hall of Fame. I gotta see it.
Unpredictable ones for nothing. I got stuff you're never gonna find. All right? Don't just get near me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This guy,
Mr. Rods.
respect for this kid. He has no idea who I am. They don't call me the unpredictable one for nothing. Next time I get him, I'm gonna put my boots on and go in the ring with him and teach him a lesson that he's never gonna forget.
Well, you may put your boots on. This is Jerry Fitzwater about to put a new pair of pants on because that was intense. This is the living legend, Johnny Rods, and I have a feeling we haven't seen the end of this. Back to you. Don Tony, hey, what, is that Grim Reaper? Right now, is that him?
Yes, it is.
Tell him I said hello. Tell him I said I like his hat. Tell him I said that.
He said he likes your hat.
It's a great hat, I love it.
He said the pink hat?
Oh, no. Anyways.
Every Thursday night, you ask the questions, DT gives you his answers. No holds barred.
It's Q&A with Don Tony. This is your chance to speak your mind and be heard about anything.
Q&A with Don Tony. And now, your host, Don Tony.
Somebody just said, I haven't aged in 15 years. Super chat. That's what it felt like. Felt good. Tomorrow you'll see him on SmackDown, Thunderdome. I got an invite for Monday also. I might do it. We'll see. Mish doing the show with me on Monday makes it a little bit easier, so we'll see. We'll see. If I'm on the screen tomorrow, by the way, WWE sent me complimentary a red Raw shirt. Now, if you saw Raw on Monday, you had that row of fans right behind the announcer's table, and everybody was wearing a red Raw shirt. And some people still don't understand how Thunderdome works, and how could that be? Was that a whole family of people? No, the producers for Thunderdome, what they do is they take each individual person and they bunch them together. So a whole bunch of people that don't know each other that were wearing these Raw red shirts, that's what they were doing. They would just bunch them all together. So I may actually wear the Raw shirt on Monday. It'd be pretty interesting to be right by the announcer's table, be right in the middle of a whole bunch of goofs, fans with red Raw shirts. See that AEW rating? Hang on a second. I don't know, for some reason, my speaker, I don't know if it's white noise or, I know you can't hear it, but it's annoying the shit out of me. Did you see that AEW rating? What was it, like 889,000 or something? Someone get me the exact number. You all knew this already. Soon as they go back to Wednesdays, it was going to be right back to what it was before. People on the weekend, even though we're still in the middle of COVID, watching pro wrestling on a late Friday night, on a Saturday night is not necessarily on everybody's priority list. I know there are hardcore wrestling fans out there that cannot miss a live show, period. But, that's really what it was. And they scored a great rating. 883. Okay, thank you, Papa Jr. 883. I said between 800 and 900,000 viewers. They're right back to where they were before. People were. How many of you read places and heard podcasters that said, I'm really concerned when they go back to Wednesdays, all those viewers they lost? Morons. I liked the main event yesterday. You know what? I feel good that, yes, we chuckled about Jim Ross's WWE Dynamite mistake, and I know a lot of wrestlers are having a good laugh of it as well, but people calling him out, demanding that he resign, that he should quit, that he's too old, he's senile. Man, I am so happy that we did not take that route last night. I know a lot of people that did. And, I don't know what it is. Maybe people now are afraid of getting the wrath of Bully Ray. I didn't like it 10 years ago, whatever it was. But Bully Ray today calls out all the people that had problems, ripping Jim Ross and saying all this stuff last night. And everybody did a 180 today. But. My God, they're afraid. Afraid, I tell you. I know I forgot something. There we go. Hopefully I could fix this. But yes, something strange that happens with this software halfway through the show. I can't reposition stuff. So much love to everybody's live. I like those colorful emojis. I like seeing everybody in a great mood. Feels good, man. Feels good to just enjoy yourself, have a good time, get your mind off of bullshit for a little while. Before we start taking calls, because I told you we're going to do it right from the get-go. And I decided, yes, tonight we are going to give away this Brodie Lee, Luke Harper, John Huber signed WWE trading card. Like I said, if you go on eBay, you look at the completed auctions, this same card that was limited to 299 sold for like $1.25 or $1.50 recently. I'm not saying for you to get it, to make money off of it. I want someone to enjoy it. There's a lot of people out there that said to me, DT, if you get any Luke Harper, Brodie Lee memorabilia, it'd be pretty cool. So, I got a Wyatt set limited to 50, all 4 members, that maybe I will part soon, maybe I won't. I just figure, there's a lot of you out there that actually enjoy this. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if Crazy Cruiserweight is here already. I don't know if AS7607, if she's here already. But one of the items, she's here. There she is. I'll get into Super Chats in a moment. Thank you very much. But, I wanted to put a couple of goodies in the Money in the Bank briefcase that Crazy Cruiserweight won last week and gave it to her. There was a particular autograph that she wanted of someone. I don't want to say who it is, unless she wants to say. There's no reason to. And I didn't have it on hand. But a friend of mine, when, we trade stuff on occasion, he's like, hey, you got something over here. Hey, I got this, maybe. So I reached out to him like, hey, you got an autograph of blah, 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 blah. He's like, yeah. He says, I got a really nice one from WrestleMania 1. Okay. Can you send it? Please make sure it doesn't bend. Now, I don't know if any of you out there work for the post office, and I ripped off my address so you can't see it, and I ripped off his address so you can't see his. But I don't know. For some reason, if I worked in the post office and I got an envelope with this shit scribbled like this, fragile, do not bend, handle with care, do not bend it, I will fucking beat you up. If I had that much writing and I worked for the post office, I'd bend the motherfucker. Seriously. I mean, I appreciate him. He's like, no, I'll pack it really, really well. But look at this envelope. This is how he got it. Please, you think the post office got the message? I think they got the message. But anyway, bottom line is AS7607, this is going out to you tomorrow with the briefcase. I'm going to ship it out tomorrow. So, you know what? Before we go any further, you know I am a stickler to detail. I must increase my bust. That was a joke that my friends used to say to me when I was younger. For some reason, I see it's a little cut off over here, and I'm sorry for audio only friends out there. Oh, so Cruiserweight is here. So, yeah, Cruiserweight. So your generosity will be shipped out tomorrow with a few other good. Okay, that looks a little bit better. So anyway, here's the deal with tonight. I think we're going to end the show early. Not 5 minutes from now, but I definitely would like to end it a little bit early tonight because we're going to do another show tomorrow. Over the weekend is 4th of July, and I plan on spending it with family. For everybody who celebrates, happy 4th, and enjoy it. Enjoy it. I mean, I know even if you don't celebrate the 4th, we've all gone through so much shit in the last 17 months with this virus. And now the Delta variant and all this other stuff. And now in California, you got to wear a mask even though you're vaccinated. These people, man. I mean, I understand the fear of things getting out of control again. But even in New York, for the last week, I didn't pay attention to the numbers. So today I was like, I'm curious. I want to see what happened over the last week. Now, first off, the number of people that are in the hospital in New York State, and it's like 27 million people. The number of people in the hospital right now because of COVID is 340, I think. That's nothing. I'm not trying to diminish it or downplay it, but that's nothing. A week ago, it was 350. So now what people are hanging on to is, the number is plateaued. Meaning there's no fucking illness on this earth that has a tiny, tiny number of people people are in the hospital. It happens. We're not perfect. There are people out there that have some really bad comorbidities. You get a cold, you could die. You get the flu, you could die. You could get pneumonia, you could die. You could fall down the stairs and break your hip and you could die. You know how many people died in New York today because of COVID yesterday? Not New York City, not Queens, but the entire New York State. They're just holding on to this, and I understand the fear. But after 17, 18 months, I think we got the picture of what you should and should not do and what you can do to protect yourself and protect your inner circle from getting sick. Now it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to be careful. And if somebody gets sick, yeah, there's going to be freak incidents, but, come on. I mean, there's a point where you got to just fucking stop this shit. So, I'd like to end the show a little early tonight. Tomorrow night, I will be up here. And we got Monday, we got Tuesday, Wednesday. So, the contest tonight. All right, I thought it won pretty good. I don't know what you call this. If someone out there knows what this is called, it's not Scrabble, but it might be a kind of a form of Scrabble. I know that there's a game show out there that does this, but I came up with a contest idea. And I'm going to show you an example of what this contest is going to be. I am going to put on the screen a bunch of words, wrestlers, words. And then one by one, I am going to slowly add a letter to it. And what this is cool about it is every name leads to another name. Like it flows. This is just an example. But it might be Wheel of Fortune. It might be Hangman. That's not a bad one. Wheel of Fortune is good too. But I'm curious. Chat room is on the screen. I always try to come up with fun, creative contests. We could just pick a name randomly, but it's kind of boring, right? So anyway, I'm curious. Chat room, get your fingers ready. By the way, for everybody who is on Twitter right now, I'm giving Twitch one last time, even though I don't think it's connected. I pretty much fried that shit a while ago. Somebody's like, oh, give it another shot. I'm like, my tits are not as big anymore, I don't think anybody wants to see me on Twitch. So if they want to check out this show, they can go on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook. But big shout out to everybody who is tuning in elsewhere. Much love. I'm sorry that the chat on the video is just YouTube. We will have that changed very, very shortly. By the way, shout out to everybody who is signed up on the new Don Tony Show Discord. It is exclusive for my YouTube family. I already had to kick out 2 people that they're pretty cool people. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, calling someone a moron because of this and that. I mean, I'm not a principal. But, you know, this is supposed to be a place where everybody can hang out, talk whatever they want to talk about, and not have to worry about people just, you know, making them feel like shit, you know, to make themselves feel better. And I told 2 people, I'm like, come on, you know, we just started the page. Let's have a nice vibe. DT, you're so PC. Bye-bye. So get your fingers ready. This is just practice. I want to see who comes up with this first. Look at the number of letters. This has to do with wrestling names. Let's do it. Let's add a letter. I think I actually did this pretty good. I think I did that pretty good. All right. Let's see if anybody could get it. What are these 3 words? What are these 3 words? Nope. Let's add another letter. There we go. All right. Nobody yet. Nobody. This is just practice. The one later on is going to be a little bit more difficult. All right. Let's add another letter. You getting it yet? Is it starting to make a little sense? All right, let's get into the final couple of letters because I know everybody that is on audio only right now is like, come on, man. Come on. Come on. Now you should be able to get it. Come on, now you can get it. Near says he doesn't see anything on the screen. Look above my head. You see the letters? Nana Slayer. My grandmother was a Nana Slayer. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. This has got to give it away now. All right, there you go. There you go. All right. You get the picture now? Nia Jackson Riker. You see how it flows? See? Nia Jackson Riker. See? Nia Jackson Riker. So every word leads to another word. So like, I'm trying to think of a good one. I don't have any more practice ones, but you get the deal. You know, all the words lead to something else. So if you have like, okay, I showed you that opening video showing some love to Johnny Rods. Miss talking to that guy, and he got a kick out of that video yesterday. I posted it online. He hadn't seen that. Never saw it before. And he hadn't seen that since we did it in 2007, I think, or 6. And Joe So Delicious in that video is deceased now. So, you know, if you want to go like for one, you could go like, I don't know, just Joe. So, you know, every word leads to another word. So you get the deal. Now, the words don't have to spell exactly, but it's supposed to flow. Like, let's say there was a wrestler like Lisa Nia. Let's say Lisa Nia. It would be Lisa Nia Jackson Riker. It would flow. I think everybody gets the picture. So that is the practice for today. We'll do that in a little bit. Yeah, we do have to talk about somebody who passed today. I'm not going to downplay this guy's wrestling career. But Del Wilkes died today at the age of 59. Massive heart attack. Now, you see I'm looking straight at you. I don't have any cheat notes above the camera or anything like that. This is not hard to talk about. He was the best known as the Patriot, and he had a majority of his wrestling career in the GWF, Global Wrestling Federation, I believe it was, and All Japan Pro Wrestling. I do remember him in WCW. I remember his cup of coffee in the WWF. You watch Wrestling with Shadows when they were intensifying the Canada versus USA feud, when he was leading against the top rope and they were playing the national anthem. And I always remember from the Wrestling with Shadows when they showed that, because he wanted to show how powerful our national anthem, our flag is. And he's sitting there with his eyes like, Like, you remember that. You know what I'm talking about. Wrestlers today paying tribute to the guy. Promotions paying tribute to the guy. Wrestling fans out there, you know, it's a little weird sometimes. Chat room. You just a spur of the moment. Now, I could be off by one or two, but I don't think I am. Like I said, I don't even need notes just to talk about this. How many matches you think the Patriot had in WWE? How many matches? Yeah, everybody's talking about the Patriot, WWE. How many matches you think he had? Chat room. Yes, he started off in AWA, and he had 2 matches there, a couple of matches there. How many matches you think he had in WWE? How many matches? Okay, all right. You know, not that far off. I tell you, I'm actually pretty proud of a lot of you out there. I think it's 17 or 14. I think 14 matches. You know, 14 matches. And it's not like this guy had a 10-year career in WWE. He was in there less than 1 year. He signed in 1997, got to have an awesome match with Bret Hart. I'm not going to take it away. And I'm not disrespecting the guy right now. When you hear what I have to say, I mean, it's all positive. But, you know, people, you know, just like going on. And I'm like, I bet you they never even saw him wrestle in WWE. Because they're writing as if this guy had 200 matches in WWE. You know how many matches he had in WCW? 17. I think he had 17 matches in WCW. Not only that, you know, I know Tom Brandi became the Patriot, and I'm old enough to remember the controversy that Tom Brandi, because I covered it on my hotlines, Tom Brandi started going on the indie circuit as the Patriot. Oh, that's disrespectful. How could you do that to Del Wilkes? Blah, 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 blah. I want to throw a little curveball to you all out there. Number one, the Patriot, Del Wilkes, retired in 1998. Some people will say officially 2000. He tore his triceps. He had injuries, painkiller addiction. The man retired pretty much in 1998. Tom Brandi did not start going around as the Patriot until 2002. So for everyone out there that wants to try to portray that Tom Brandi fucked Del Wilkes' wrestling career because he started going around as the Patriot, that's just not the case. Del Wilkes did not do what he needed to do to trademark and all that. And that's why when you do interviews, I think one of the most infamous interviews, I haven't talked to Tom Brandi since 2003. Why not? Why not? Why not have a lawyer go after his ass? I own that. Guy did not do what he was supposed to do. That's why Tom Brandi has been doing it. Let's be honest, Tom Brandi's been doing the Patriot a hell of a lot more than Del Wilkes was. You know, Del Wilkes retired 23 years ago. It's not like he was wrestling until 2011. Tom Brandi started doing that gimmick 4 years after Del Wilkes retired. I compare it to Doink the Clown. Doink the Clown, I mean, we will always remember for one person. But, you know, you would see Doink show up on various indie circuits, and because it was a clown and mask and everything, you know, nobody, you know, really, I mean, you could obviously tell, especially if somebody had different skin color or something like that. I'm not saying it'd be, I'm just saying, like, you know, you could figure it out. So, you know, Del Wilkes didn't do what he should have done to own the rights to it. And that's why Tom Brandi picked up on it. I'm not a fan of Tom Brandi. And I will, whenever I look at the Patriot, I will always think of Del Wilkes. But one thing about this guy that maybe a lot of you don't know is he had a fabulous football career. College football star in South Carolina. I mean, for any of you older folk out there like yours truly, you know, I'm sorry I got to take the chat room down for 1 second for this. You know, you get to hang out with Bob Hope. That's pretty damn cool. You have done something pretty damn cool to be hanging out with Bob Hope. I think that was like 1982. All right. This guy had a stellar college football career. I think he tried out for the NFL, may have made the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't remember the other team, but he moved on to wrestling. Had a decent stint in Japan, All Japan, teaming up with Johnny Ace. Had a cup of coffee, broke in, I think, with AWA, GWF. His WWF career, other than the match with Bret Hart, has really amounted to nothing. You know, this guy, I think, truly, most people will remember him for the crazy amounts of painkillers that he was taking at the time. He got arrested a few times, but this is a positive story. This is a guy that hit rock bottom. Now, I know he did interviews claiming that he took 100 painkillers a day. Trust me. Trust me. When I used to take 12, I felt like a zombie. You take 100, your heart is done. There's no way you take 100 painkillers in one day. If you think about it, that would average out to about 9 an hour, 8 or 9 an hour. It's just not physically possible. But this guy had a massive addiction because of pain. Guy didn't take painkillers because he partied. No, the guy had insane amounts of pain, and painkillers was his only way of numbing that pain. And this is a case where somebody hit rock bottom like a ton of bricks, and, you know, because of the legal issues, was pretty much forced to clear his ass up. And he straightened himself out. He became owner of a car dealership. Very, very well liked. I got to talk to him a long time ago with Georgie and Macropolis because they had a lot of interaction. And everybody that I know who ever talked to Del Wilkes always said, man, what a nice guy. Had a couple of issues with painkillers, but other than that, what a nice guy. That's why everybody will always associate the Patriot character with Del Wilkes, because he probably personified, you know, the imperfect person. Somebody that loves his country, you know, but obviously has some imperfections, and he overcame it. Dying at 59 years old sucks. 59 is way too soon to go. But he passed away this morning from a massive heart attack. And I actually am enjoying the level of tribute that is going around, because even though he had some issues with painkillers, almost everybody that you see talking about him in the world of pro wrestling, when they came across him, nothing but great interaction. So, but I got to be honest with you. I know it's not a popular thing to say, but I like Stars and Stripes. They were not a tag team for all that long, but Stars and Stripes was a pretty fun team, you know, and then he left and went to Japan and then ultimately got the WWE deal. But injuries forced him to retire. So rest in peace, Del Wilkes. I know a lot of you out there definitely wanted me to talk about this. You know, again, 59 is way too soon to go. You know, my thoughts, sincere thoughts, prayers are with his family, his friends. He's had a lot of friends. You're noticing it now online. So anyway, yeah, he was okay as the Trooper. I mean, that was really early in his career, but you could tell that he was, you know, they had something there. You know, the guy came from football. So the physique was there, the athleticism was there. And I tell you, that match with Bret Hart, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I wish he would have had a longer WWE career, WWF career. But, you know, when you actually break it down, I mean, he was just there for a couple of months. I mean, but you know what? Props to WWF also. Because when you actually see him standing side by side with Steve Austin and Shamrock and others, and you remember 97 and how big those guys were at the time, that's a big deal. Bret Hart going against him. So they knew that they had, somebody of value, but unfortunately injuries did them in, and the painkillers did. I just wish, like I said, I'm not a fan of Tom Brandy's, but I just wish, Del Wilkes died. Okay, we don't need to put the knife in the back of Tom Brandy. I know it was a little bit, let's be honest, it was a little bit fucked up the way that Tom Brandy got the character. But again, 4 years after, and Del Wilkes never did what he needed to do to own it. He didn't do the due diligence. How come everybody else could sue and take ownership for what's rightfully theirs, but Del Wilkes 23 years later didn't have ownership of it? Come on. If anything, we should be a little bit thankful that Tom Brandy didn't go after Del Wilkes. Stop using my character. Rest in peace, Del Wilkes. Rest in peace. Yep. Mark Merrow, I think, was very good friends with him as well. So, anyway, going to start taking calls in a couple of moments. Like I said, I definitely would like to end this a little early. Oh. A few of you asked me this last night, and I saw a few people online asking about it as well. So you know me, I always try to do research. I don't sit and wait for someone else to do the work for me. Some of you out there from last night's Dynamite, I'm going to take the chat room down for a second, said to me, DT, that's a pretty cool shirt. Any idea where I could get it? And I noticed a bunch of fans today asked Ethan Page also. Cool shirt. You know where I could get it? Thought it was pretty funny that Ethan Page didn't answer anybody back. Now, I know he is a quote-unquote heel, but I found it interesting that he just didn't tell anyone. So I decided to do a little research and try to find the shirt. And I found it. Here's the shirt. Pretty cool shirt, right? I actually ordered one today. The store that I found it at, they had some pretty damn good shirts. So I ordered this one and a couple of others. So anyway, would you like to know how much this shirt costs, everybody? I think the reason why Ethan Page did not tell anyone is because that shirt cost, this shirt, $15. I kid you not, $15. I think that's the reason why Ethan Page didn't want to tell anyone where you could get that shirt. Ethan Page, I'll be honest with you, I'm heterosexual, but I thought he looked pretty damn good in that shirt. $15 shirt. Made it look like $1,000. Now, I know when I get that shirt, the muscular features will not be in the same place. In fact, the heads of the skulls might look a little bit twisted and distorted. $15. If you'd like to go check out the store, it is called Shein.com. I believe it's spelled SHEIN.com. I should have put a link up here, but there was so much going on tonight. I really didn't have a chance to sit down and even I have no notes in front of me today. Zero. So Shein.com, $15. $15. I'd like to acknowledge a couple of super chats, if you don't mind, some very special people. Nero Fay, may peace come soon. I absolutely agree with you. We're not going to be able to change the world. Let's be honest. Unless I try to run for mayor in my local community, I'm not going to be able to change the climate in my neighborhood. In fact, I swear to God today, this morning when I was in my office, there was a guy sitting at the bus stop screaming at the top of his lungs. Sounded like he just totally lost his noodle. He wasn't talking to anybody. He was just screaming in the street. And I told my customer, excuse me for a minute. And I actually went to hit Twitter Live. And I was going to walk right up to the guy on video and be like, fuck's wrong with you? Then halfway down the stairs, I said, yeah, you know, if this guy starts whipping out a weapon, you hear about all this crazy shit in train stations and stuff. So I walked right back into my office and ignored it. And finally, the sound went away. But, you know, I can't change the world, but I definitely could reflect, you know, my surroundings. I try to treat everybody the way I want to be treated. Seriously. And for the people out there that stab me in the back, I'm not going to lie, stab them in the back 10 times worse. You know, thank God, though, I don't have much of that anymore. So I just try to be as positive as I can. So, Near, I'm on your side, my friend. SoFly Bimore. Roman is the best wrestler in the world. You can't point out one flaw. Man, you have to look hard to find one. His current role, you really can't come up with much in the negative department. Some of the over choreographed speech is WWE's fault. It's not Roman Reigns' fault. By the way, off topic, I know you and I talked about this 2 weeks ago. WWE made it official today. They are going to Madison Square Garden September 10th, and tickets go on sale July 9th. Got pretty good memory tonight. No notes in front of me. Pretty good memory. I'm pretty sure those dates are accurate. It's going to be a SmackDown, by the way. So for all of you in my neck of the woods, you can get to enjoy the Tribal Chief up close and personal. You know, people need to understand, other than WrestleMania, which, you know, obviously had live fans, but the vibe, the energy, the weather, there was a lot of things that kind of interfered with it. But now, on a consistent weekly basis, you're going to now see what the fans truly think of Roman Reigns and his character as the Tribal Chief. Even Jimmy Uso. There are points with Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso that, you know, if we had live fans, they probably would have cheered for those guys. They probably would have cheered like crazy last week when Jimmy Uso took on Dolph Ziggler. But because we have Thunderdome and the forced audio, the noise, they pushed that narrative that Jimmy Uso was evil. No piped-in cheers whatsoever. A lot of wrestlers out there, you know, you could poll social media, but social media is a very tiny percentage of the overall fans and their views. So now we're going to find out if the fans really think with Roman Reigns, you suck, you suck, you suck, or is he so bad that he's cool? Would not be surprised to see in some areas, not a lot, but a decent number of cheers for Roman Reigns. It's going to be interesting to see the reactions of some of the wrestlers. Now you're going to see it. And I think, to WWE's credit, I mean, they're around long enough that they can sense which way this is going. That's why even the Alexa Bliss thing, if you really look at this closely, I haven't seen anybody really talking about it, but we kind of touched on it Monday, but more as a question than a statement. Is Alexa Bliss a babyface now? I mean, it's weird. It's weird because Shayna is a heel, and Nia is a heel, and Reginald, I don't give a... Reginald's Reginald. But Alexa Bliss teaming up with Nikki, you know, I think of in the end, Alexa stabs Nikki in the back, not literally. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how WWE handles Nikki Cross. I want to see a month from now what they do with that character. So, but getting back to Roman, you really cannot find much of anything negative to complain about Roman Reigns. It's just, you know, we got to see what happens with this, the next feud. I mean, obviously he's going to fight Edge. And, you know, for people out there that think that fans are going to crap on Edge, you know, that's not the case. That's not the case. The fans loved WrestleMania leading up to it. I mean, yes, we didn't have live fans for the SmackDowns leading up to Mania, but everybody online loved Daniel Bryan's promos. I think Daniel Bryan will be back soon. If he worked out a new deal with WWE, he's going to be back very, very soon. They're saving it. They're saving it, just like Becky Lynch and others. And by the way, it appears what we said earlier in the week, seems like it did happen, that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins did get married. So congrats, absolutely congrats to the newlyweds. So interesting timing. Let's get married. Let's go on a honeymoon. And then this way, when we come back from honeymoon, the honeymoon's over. Now we go on the road with WWE. We see where that's going. Roger Rubio, Double R. Always great being here with La Familia. Much love for me and everyone. Let's all hit that like button. Yes, everyone. I am not moving these arms until, no, I would never do that. I know other people that do that, but if you're enjoying the show, I would appreciate if you just take a second and hit that like button. The more you do it, the more that tells YouTube, hey, maybe someone else would like this show, especially the haters out there. So take a moment. I'd appreciate it. It's free. It's free. Jay Carlos, my friend, much love. Thank you as always for your support. I mean, just been with us for such a long time and really just, I can't thank you enough. I can't. I absolutely will answer this. I love this question. In my opinion, do I believe the ruthless aggression era was even more violent than the Attitude Era? What do I think about it? No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because the Attitude Era, a lot of it was spawned from ECW. Now, ECW wasn't the innovator of violence. You go back to Memphis, you go to Florida Championship Wrestling, you go to Japan, you go to Detroit. A lot of people leave out Detroit. I mean, years and years, they had some violent ass shit. When I did the history shows for those 2 years, I talked about a match, I think it was in 1981 or 1982. You know Onita, FMW's Onita? He was in Memphis at that time and had wild, crazy-ass brawls. The concession brawls, if any of you out there never heard of these brawls, go on YouTube after we're done and just type in Lawler or Memphis concession stand brawls and watch them and realize that some of those brawls took place, 12, 13 years before ECW was even in existence. So violence has been around. Attitude Era, though, it was tremendously different. Ruthless aggression, yes, early on, WWE I don't think had any intentions on becoming PG. Obviously, with the tragedies that occurred at that time and, the issues with steroids and the Signature Pharmacy scandal and the government breathing down their necks and all the groups out there all balking and protesting. I mean, you remember the days when Mick Foley would go on social media and say, I won't let my kids watch WWE programming? I remember all those years. So, those years during the ruthless aggression, it was a handful of years, but they changed that up almost immediately. And I don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was Christy Hemme. I remember somebody, a woman, doing an interview for a radio station and said, no more bra and panties matches. No more this, no more that. And at the time, we were like, what? What's she talking about? And obviously, we got what we got. I'm fine with PG wrestling. I grew up in the 80s where majority of it was PG wrestling. You went to the Garden, you got a little bit extra, violence and stuff. But the Attitude Era, I personally don't even think it's even close. To this day, I still will not watch the I Quit match between Mick Foley and The Rock. I can't watch it. I can't watch it. It's too disturbing to see all those chair shots. In fact, today, I think is the 19-year anniversary of one of my favorite matches that ever aired. I think on Raw it was. Jeff Hardy versus The Undertaker. Remember the ladder match for the title. What was the Intercontinental title? I don't remember. It was the IC title, but it was a ladder match. And Jeff Hardy took it to The Undertaker, and Undertaker ended up winning. But after The Undertaker won, Jeff Hardy gets on the mic. I'm not done. I'm still standing. And Undertaker, at the time, Big Evil, motherfucker, goes back to the ring, beats the shit out of Jeff Hardy more. Jeff Hardy gets up again, and then Undertaker shows a little bit of respect for Jeff Hardy. One of my favorite matches ever on TV. That was Attitude Era. It was not Ruthless Aggression Era. I think also during the Attitude Era, you had a lot of other promotions that were extremely hardcore. I mean, I'm not saying XPW was around because of WWE. It was more because of ECW, but XPW, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, you know, WWE, ECW until 2001, Ian Rotten, Juggalo wrestling, that was all Attitude Era. So I personally feel that Attitude Era, it's not even close. Ruthless Aggression definitely had its share of violent matches. I mean, you know, I'll never forget that infamous match. I think it was John Cena versus JBL. And John Cena was bloodied like I had seen other people bloodied. To me, the match that I always go back to is one of the bloodiest matches that I've ever seen, that a lot of you probably still have not seen to this day, was Lance Storm and Chris Jericho versus the Heavenly Bodies. I never saw Chris Jericho bleed like I saw him bleed. And when John Cena wrestled JBL, when I saw him bleed the way he did, I had flashbacks of the Chris Jericho match. I even joked with Georgiana at that time. I said, yeah, John Cena will be over now. Because once their fans see him bleeding like that, you know, help people get over. So, you know, Ruthless Aggression definitely had its share of violence. You know, but even when they had ECW One Night Stand, you know, there was that's during the Ruthless Aggression era. There was violence, but it felt like holiday. It felt like a holiday. Ooh, we're getting extreme violence. During the Attitude Era, it was commonplace in so many areas. Yeah, Triple H versus HBK, 3 stages of hell. And you knew we were getting all 3 stages. When they announce things like that, they're like, there's no way we're only going to get 2. You announce 3, you get all 3. So Ruthless Aggression definitely had its share of violence, but I would say Attitude Era. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. But if you've never seen the matches I just said, go check out. Check out they were the Thrill Seekers at the time. The Thrill Seekers versus the Heavenly Bodies. And watch a good quality copy of it, because there's some really shoddy video copies online. Go look at some of the better versions, and when you see Jericho bleed, you can be like, holy shit, never saw Jericho bleed like that before. I mean, just gushing. The Dustin Cody match had blood as well. Not on the level of what I'm talking about, though. Not on that level. So, Jay Carlos, again, thank you very much, my friend. Much love. Have a great 4th of July. And to you and yours, all the best. Thank you, my friend. So, Fly, what's my favorite wrestling belt in history? I get asked this every so often. My choice, mostly everybody's like, I wish I had a picture handy that I could show it to you. I mean, actually, you know what? Yeah, I could leave you super chat. Maybe I can. Let me see if I could pull it up really quick. I know some of you know exactly what belt I'm talking about. Let me see. Okay. I got a picture. I think I got a picture. Yes, I got a picture. All right. You know what? Yes, we'll say the Lou Albano. Okay. It's not Lou Albano, but yeah, I found the picture. Yeah, I'll show you all. See, the good thing is when I have everything set up and set up pretty smoothly, I could grab photos online and literally put them on the server within seconds. So let me get out of this. Let me do this. Let me just take down your super chat for a second. And this is my favorite belt of all time. I don't know why, everybody, but for me, that is my favorite championship belt of all time. Magnificent Morocco Intercontinental Championship from 1983. Yes, Eddie Guerrero versus JBL. My God, didn't they do that storyline the next day that they played off that Eddie Guerrero, passed out, or, they stopped the match? He was in the ring. I think that was the day after that match with JBL. But this belt, I know that's not a great picture of it, but that, for some reason, since 1983, I always wanted that belt. Couple of years ago, I don't know if it was Reggie Parks, but a couple of years ago, somebody made a variation of that belt and put it up for sale. And I was seriously thinking about buying it. But then I said, okay, I keep it on display. This is before I was doing video, but I keep it on display, and then what? My fiance's going to walk into the house and go, ooh, what a really nice belt. And then a week later, that belt is just taking up space. And, that's the only reason why I didn't get it. Honestly, that's the reason why I put up that AEW the duplicate title, that title I had, the AEW, the replica belt. I liked it, and it looked great in the background. I said, but you know what? I think someone out there would probably enjoy it even more. Put it on their dresser, put it in a case or somewhere, walk around the house with it. Maybe go to a wrestling show, And I'm being, really, I'm not mocking it. That's why I got rid of it. But that belt was always my favorite title. I loved the WWF Championship, Bret Hart's. What was that? The wing? I forget how I know each belt has its. The Steve Austin belt, I didn't like the skull belt at all. But Bret Hart's championship was beautiful. Backlund's, I thought, was one of the Winged Eagle. Thank you, franchise. The Winged Eagle, that was a nice belt. And you know what made it nicer? I don't have the picture in front of me. I could go grab one really quick, but you all know it. The picture of Bret Hart posing, smiling, and he's got the belt draped over his shoulder, and he's holding it almost like it's a child. He wore that belt with so much pride. And when you wear a belt and it looks good and you're smiling and you're showing respect to it, it makes the belt feel more important. So that belt was really, really nice too. Funny thing is, I never liked much of the ECW championships because people have always said to me, DT, how come you never got an ECW? I never really thought they were all that nice, But great question. And you know what? I'm seeing some of you in the chat room posting some of your favorites. The spinning belt I never liked. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be uploading some more retro audio for my channel members here. I think I'm going to post, just out of nowhere. I didn't even think of this before. I think I'm going to post the episode that we did, our reaction to the debut of the John Cena spinning belt. I might have to listen to that episode through to make sure that there isn't some outlandish convo on there. You got to be careful, in 2021. Some of the things that we said a long time, no N-words or anything like that, but, at that time, you got to be careful with some of your wording. So that spinner belt, I never liked it. I remember the reaction, like, what the fuck is that? It looks like a record. Looked like a record. Looked like a little 45 spinning around. Much love. I don't know who this is on Periscope right now, but I thank you very much for the kind words that this person's been tuning in. Type your name, by the way, so I could shout you out. He's been tuning in to my stuff for 16 years. And that's a majority of his entire life. He's 19 years old. Wait, so that means you were tuning? Oh no, 2010. So 11 years. So he was tuning in since he was 6 years old, or 9 years old, or something like that. So that's wild. Makes me feel old, but that's all right. Somebody said earlier I look like I haven't aged in 15 years. I got more hair now. I mean, I know it's very, very short, but I got it cut short. So when I go on vacation next week, you know, I just wake up, spray a little dampness in my hair, and that's it. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Jay Carlos says, he's just like SoFly. He believes the old WCW World Heavyweight. Yes, you want to know something? Man, that is a good one. You know what? Honestly, I tell you, Ric Flair, when he walked around with that NWA Heavyweight Championship, that was nice. When he showed up in WWF, and then they started pixelating that belt is beautiful. I mean, the WCW NWA that title, that is a beautiful title. I mean, that belt was so big. I mean, it looked like a powerful title. That is an excellent choice. That is an excellent choice. That is a phenomenal choice. You know what? You know it's another belt too? The NWA Championship, the one that Nick Aldis is holding right now. I even liked how the WWF brought back the white Intercontinental Championship, the white strap. Didn't they bring that back for Dolph Ziggler several years ago? The Women's Championship for NWA is really, really nice. Those are excellent choices. Excellent choices. I want to just remove for a second, just see what others are saying. Yeah, that belt look good. The NWA's got some really nice titles, man. Some really nice titles. You know, WWE right now, you could see what they're doing. They have the titles with different color straps. And, you know, every so often they make a little variation. They put it up for sale. I think the Divas Championship, I think, to me, was the ugliest championship. I mean, and the only reason why I never really ripped it much was because I'm not a woman. I'm not female. And, you know, look, let's talk stereotypes for a second. Females, you think of pink. Look at when they announce if it's a boy or it's a girl. They go pink or they go blue. So when you think of, you know, female, pink colors, beautiful pink, blue, you know, for the men, purples, things like that. So when the Divas Championship came out, I said, you know what? Maybe women think that belt looks nice. And that's a belt that's not meant for me. It's not meant for on the male side. It's a women's championship. Women's titles, you know, and I remember a lot of women that enjoyed the shows would post comments and be like, no, we think it looks like shit also. So the Divas title, I think, was probably the one that I disliked the most. I will tell you this, AEW trying to get 7 bills for their replica title, that's kind of insane. I mean, I understand you're launching it for the first time, you're debuting it the first time, so you're going to demand prime, top dollar. But I will guarantee you by Christmas time, that championship drops down to about $500. There is no way they're going to be able to keep that belt for $700. That's crazy. That's crazy. But then again, you know, you ask yourself, if I had $700, which would I have? An AEW replica title that I could own until I get sick of it? Or a 5-minute cameo? You know, I mean, look at some of the price. Shawn Michaels, $750 cameo. That's crazy in 2021. Yeah. That AEW title, I will guarantee you it drops down to $500 by Christmas. And you know what they'll do? They'll use Christmas as an excuse. Christmas Black Friday sale, $500. If it would have been February 31st, which I know doesn't exist, it would have still been $500. $500. Anyway, I think we're getting close to taking calls, doing this contest. Man, if you're enjoying the show, like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate it very much. And thank you. Thank you. I want to see a massive influx coming in. See, I can't show you what the other chats look like. I was going to try to put it on the screen. I can't. See, what I could do, yeah, I could see. Look, I know you can't really see it, but that's the chat room for the other places. They all show the same symbols, so I really can't, I have to configure this. But trust me, I'm looking at everybody's comments. So, how's that MJF NTF coins doing? Did you all see this today? Take a look at this. Remember it was $7 and change about 2 weeks ago? It is right down to what it originally sold for. I feel really bad for people out there that paid $6, $7 a coin when they thought that this shit was going to hit $10, $20. They thought this was going to be AMC. They thought that they were going to make trillions. I didn't buy the coin. I didn't buy the coin. I am very nervous about cryptocurrency. I had the Bitcoin. You all know the Bitcoin story already, so we don't need to get into it. But this NFT stuff that's coming out, I don't know, man. I'm a little nervous with it. I will say this: the stuff Jim Cornette seems to be offering doesn't sound too bad if you're a hardcore Jim Cornette fan. He's offering outfits, tennis rackets. It's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. But yeah, that crypto took a nosedive. And you know who's enjoying all of this? Well, MJF's not enjoying the drop, but he definitely profited quite a bit off of this. Yeah, doesn't some of the cryptocurrency feel like a Ponzi scheme? Doesn't it really? Like, look, everybody. Look, this is my cryptocurrency. It's not worth stuff. I walk into a store, give me a pack of cigarettes. It'll be $7. And I don't have money, but can you take a MJF coin? Get out of my store, you stupid motherfucker. Get out of my store. People have said to me to do the DT stuff. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, people have said to me, DT, you could do like an NFT thing. I mean, what am I going to do? Like, I don't have like a lot of wrestling memorabilia that I could like offer with stuff like that. I will tell you this. Remember a while back we were talking about doing a marathon show? We're now starting to get very serious about that. And I think we found a nice charity to contribute a lot of anything that's generated. I mean, that'll be up to the individuals, because some people, they want to help us. They don't, some people that, send us, financially, just support. They don't want to take that money and say, oh, let me donate it to PPCCA, Like, no, I want you to buy a mixer with it. You know what I mean? So I got to do this the right way. Maybe what I'll do is whatever we raise that night, I will donate myself, whatever it adds up to. And this way it's coming from me and not from you. I don't know. We got plenty of time. It's not happening for a couple of months. We are going to do the 20,000 subscriber celebration. When we get to like 19,960, then we're going to do a special episode. And I'm seriously thinking about asking a lot of other podcasters who are here on YouTube, including Vince Russo and others, to come by, hang out. Let's have some regular convo. So, I don't think we're going to hit 20,000 for another 2 months. I want it to happen organically. I appreciate some of your suggestions out there. I don't want to go that route. But thank you. Thank you. super chat came in from VJ. VJ, did I like the rise and fall of ECW? Honestly, I'll say it like this. I have the DVD. I bought it the day it came out. I remember that it was the number one video that was released that week. It was number one. I remember it sold crazy ass amount of copies. I enjoyed Ken. Yes, Ken. I'll mention why you wrote that in a second. Yeah, I woke up to that this morning. Not morning wood, just something not great. I liked the rise and fall of ECW. I thought it did a very fair depiction of what went down. The only thing I did not like about it was there were obviously notable names missing from it because they were under TNA contract at the time and they didn't have some people on that video. They also basically, it felt like they ignored some very important names from ECW's past. You know, I mean, you watch that video, you feel like it's Terry Funk, who's my favorite wrestler of all time, Terry Funk, Rob Van Dam, and everybody else. You know, yes, they talked about Sabu and everybody, but there were some names, very important names, that they really just glanced over. But overall, I enjoyed it tremendously. I really loved how they got in detail on how WWF had the relationship with ECW at that time. I mean, we all figured it out by 1997 because once they had Barely Legal and we had some we had the enjoyment of seeing them interact with each other. I'm saying us interact only because I worked for them the final year. So I get into the habit, but I shouldn't. But Rob Van Dam wrestling a bunch of times on Monday Night Raw when he was still contracted to ECW. Then, you would see somebody wrestling on ECW and then suddenly, boom, they show up on Raw. Wait, I didn't know Al Snow's contract was over yet. Oh, no, that's right. He's still a WWF contracted wrestler. They just brought him to ECW to reinvent himself. And that's when you got Head. So I enjoyed it. Do not worry about your Yankees. The Yankees will be fine. They will get their stride. Reminds me of the Dodgers from last year or the year before. I remember going on the show saying, don't worry about the Dodgers. They ended up winning it. AS7607. She doesn't know if I got her super chat, but she got to spend some of her birthday money on a few Hasbro figures. Never had them as a kid. I have in my office, did I miss some of yours? Did I? What? Oh, I'm good too. I'm good too. Oh, shit. I see what you did. You wrote it twice. No, I didn't get to it yet. And you doubled it. I'm going to have to put something extra in that thing. Seriously. I'm not kidding. I have some ideas. I have in my office, Patreon was a little strange over the years. I used to have a prize wall on Patreon. And the number one reason why I got rid of the prize wall was because almost everybody, when they won the prize, they won cash, moolah. Makes sense. But when I first started it, I wanted a mixture of different collectibles, stuff from today, stuff from, maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and then old school. And I had on the prize wall for 4 years a mint condition, brand new sealed WWF figure when he first came into the WWF. I don't know, there might have been the Hasbro figures. I know a lot of, I'm going to take a picture in my office tomorrow so you all could see it. mint condition Ultimate Warrior one, mint condition Hulk Hogan figure. I know WWE about 10 years ago, maybe a little less, 7 years ago, they came out with the new versions of it with just that W logo. So I said, you know, I think it'd be pretty cool. Have the Ultimate Warrior figure from the 80s with the new figure and then do the same for Hogan. And I thought, okay, there's got to be some major old school people out there that are into it. And each set, it's got to be worth about $300. I mean, you know, when I say mint condition, not only is the plastic clear, but there's no creases, there's no bends, there's no price tags when they used to sell it in the stores, which I know a lot of you see. In mint condition. I put them in plastic cases so they would remain in mint condition. Nobody ever wanted them. They're still sitting in my office collecting dust. So back in the day, the only wrestling figure that I enjoyed was the Roddy Piper one. I brought that up before. No yellowing whatsoever. I got so lucky with the yellowing. In fact, I know I'm showing you this for the umpteenth time in the last year or so, last month or so, but I had taken this out to pay tribute to New Jack. And I know for a fact, if you go on eBay right now, if you see this thing, on eBay, all the plastic is yellow. It's all yellowed. Now, I know I got a blue light going, but if I turn this blue light off, there's no yellowing whatsoever. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's crystal clear. It's crystal clear. Somebody sold me the entire set about 10 years ago, and I put them immediately in a box and I closed it. They never yellowed. I'll take picture tomorrow. When you see them, you're gonna be like, oh my God, they're awesome. Back in the day, the first Roddy Piper one, when he's like this, I had that figure. I took it everywhere. I've always told the story on this show. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she died in 1991, 30 years ago, almost to the day. And she was the most rabid Hulkamania fan in the world. And I can't tell you how many times my grandmother would come to my house, you know, for more than 30 years ago. This is like 1985, you know, because when Hogan, you know, WrestleMania was at its, you know, when it debuted. And so that's 36 years ago. And she'd be sitting at the table with my mom, just talking about whatever. She'll be doing scratch-off tickets, or she'll look at the paper. And I'll just take the Roddy Piper figure and I'll just put it like right behind her. And the figure's like right over here. And I'm giggling on the other side of the table. And she's just reading the paper. And then she's just like, get that fucking shit. And she just toss it. So many scratches on that thing because she would throw that thing across the room. She hated Roddy Piper, despised Roddy Piper. Put it this way, you know that there's some people online that despise AEW. That is nothing compared to my grandmother with Roddy Piper. But I never collected that many wrestling figures back in the day. You know what happened? I bought that original ring. Remember the ring that they came out with and it had the elastic ropes and everything? I literally had that ring for maybe 2 or 3 days. And, you know, they take the figure, they push it against the rope, and then they let it go. And it's like, oh, he launched across the ring. The fucking thing, the elastic snapped within 2 days. And I was like, no, man. Yeah. I was a rabid ECW fan. Rabid. Look, I know all I did was push tickets for them and, you know, try to get as many bodies at the New York shows. But I'll be honest with you, getting a voicemail message from a certain special someone in ECW back in 2000, hey, man, he had nothing but great things about your hotline. You know, you want to give us a call, maybe work for us for a little bit? Come on, man. That's like dream come true at that time. I mean, they would have told me to sweep up shit. I probably would have sweeped it up, you know? It's awesome. Love that. You know, I miss it. I mean, it blows me away how many years have gone by. I mean, it just, that kind of like gets me sad, to be honest with you. But honestly, the fact that you all hang out, and I'm not saying it to kiss ass, but the fact you're all hanging out, we could like talk stories and reminisce and have some fun. You know, that's what makes it fun still. You know, if I sat in my room and just sat on the computer all day long and not be able to like tell stories and reminisce. When I told the stories about this stuff with Terry Funk, yesterday I showed one of those things. I've been telling you the story for 15 years. Finally showed yesterday. If I had no one to share that with, I'd just be home sulking, reminiscing. Man, I wish I was still. So the fact that we could go back and laugh at some of this stuff, you know, that's what makes it good. Courtney Summers, much love. I am doing okay. I know you know what's going on. I haven't decided. Once I decide what I'm going to do, everyone here will know. So, but I know you're doing good. That's what matters too, more than anything. Wanted to know my favorite memory at a wrestling show is. My favorite memory? It's a story I've told before. I know for people who have heard it before, I won't drive you crazy getting into the whole great big story, but very, very quick version of it. My uncle worked for a place called the Ridgewood Grove Arena in Brooklyn, Ridgewood. And my grandmother used to live in Ridgewood as well. So he worked for the WWF related to that building, and we would always get front row tickets. And that was my earliest experience about going to wrestling shows. First, it was Ridgewood Grove Arena. Then it moved on to Sunnyside Gardens, and then eventually Madison Square Garden when I was a little bit older. So in 1983, I think it was, 83 or 84, I broke my arm. And not the sliding pond. Sliding pond was when I broke my ankle. I broke my arm riding a bicycle. And I had this big cast and really sucked. And there was a WWF show coming up at Ridgewood Grove Arena. So my grandmother got the tickets, my Uncle Mikey, and I didn't know that she had surprises planned. So we went to the show, and I got to meet Bob Backlund, signed my cast, took a picture of him. I can't find that picture, to be honest with you. Got to meet all the wrestlers. And then afterwards, you know, where you going? Gonna go get a bite to eat right off of, Knickerbocker Avenue. That's what it was, Knickerbocker Avenue. I'm gonna go to this diner, Knickerbocker Avenue. So next thing I know, I'm sitting in a diner with the one of the Wild Samoans, Backlund, and a whole bunch of others. And it was just surreal. There was like 20, 25 people, put the whole bunch of tables together. And here's I am, a little kid. My grandmother, keep your mouth shut. Just enjoy. Don't say anything. Don't do anything stupid. I'm preteen. What am I going to do? You know, start pulling on people's hair and stuff like that. So I just was there, and it was a tremendous memory because I got to see these wrestlers in person, not in their characters, which I didn't understand at the time. Wasn't smart or anything like that. I just found it weird, like, why is this person eating with this person? You know, but it was a crazy, awesome time. And I remember telling my friends when I went back to school and told them, and they were like, "You're lying." I said, "Oh, yeah." And I took my cast, went like this. I had autographs from all the wrestlers. Sucked when that cast came off. My arm smelled like shit. That's the only thing I remember from taking that cast off as a preteen. When they took that cast off, I was upset. I wanted them not to break it in pieces so I could keep the autographs, but that was not possible. And all I remember is taking that cast off and going, oh, it's gone. That's awful. Any of you ever have a cast in your arm for like whatever it is, 2 months, 3 months, you take that off? Oh, it smells like death. That was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, Courtney. It was. I loved it. I loved it. I mean, I've had many, many unbelievable experiences. I mean, personal experiences. You know, just hanging out in the locker room, hanging out in my hotel room with various people, just talking about everyday stuff, wrestling, real life. You know, I talked about it not too long ago. I thought it was so cool to be just sitting on, you know, in my hotel room on my bed with fucking 400-something pound Pogo the Clown and Vic Grimes. And we're just talking about, you know, whatever. And, you know, you realize quickly, like, you know, they're just regular people like everybody else, you know, and you see, like I said, it really broke my heart to see Tracy Smothers pass away last year. And I take pride. Anybody that's tuning in right now that goes back with me years on these shows, you know that since 2002, I have always said the same thing. Of all the people that I ever met in pro wrestling, I always was fascinated more than anything by Tracy Smothers' intelligence about finance and insurance and investing. You know, and the first time I ever met him, you know, what do you do for a living? I do. You're a wrestler? No, I do insurance. Now I'm trying to talk Southern. I do insurance. No shit. That was it. Half an hour, 45 minutes, just talking about finance. You can't. It's just incredible. It's incredible, man. Like I said, that's why that intro I showed earlier, you know, Johnny Rods, you know, when I told those stories, I know a lot of people thought I was full of shit about it. But yesterday, somebody told me Johnny Rods is on Twitter. I'm like, no shit. So I took that video that I did at the beginning of his show and I sent it to him. And he loved it. He hadn't seen that in 15 years. And what I wrote in that tweet is the one thing that I loved with Johnny Rods, not just talking about wrestling, but I sat for an hour and we were talking about Cadillacs and Lincolns. And that guy loved to pimp out in Lincolns. And we were talking about the 70s when he used to drive a pimping in a Lincoln. I mean, come on. How do you, I know that might sound boring to some of you out there, but if you take a wrestler that might be, you know, maybe 10, 20 years past their career, and then you get to hang out with them and you're just talking about mutual things and you enjoy, and it doesn't even have to do with wrestling. I mean, that stuff sticks with you. And that was 15 years ago. So, love stuff like that, man. Yeah, I could probably ask Johnny Rods who'd love to come on. I know that he really appreciated that we didn't forget about Joe So Delicious. I know the majority of you out there still don't even know who he is, but very well liked around here and died suddenly. I don't even think he was 40 years old. So, but that's possible. That is possible. That is definitely possible. Jay Carlos. He can relate to me. The main reason why he watches wrestling is because of his grandmother. She was a huge WCW fan. That's awesome, man. That's the thing that sucks about my grandma. I called her nanny. She was my nanny. She died in 91. I can't tell you how many times in the mid-90s when Hulk Hogan betrayed WCW and formed the NWO, I couldn't say to my mom, because my mom's not a wrestling fan. She doesn't know anybody about wrestling. So I had nobody in my family that I really could ask. But I always said to myself, like, wonder how she would have reacted when Hogan reformed the NWO. I don't know if she would have been devastated or if she would have been like, badass. That's badass. You know what I mean? So that's something that I kind of miss, that she never got to experience that. But she never missed the show, Jay Carlos's grandma. And he started watching in 1993 and fell in love with wrestling. Same with me. You know, I've told that story many times that first time I ever saw wrestling was in 1979. My grandmother was babysitting me and my brother. We were over her house. My grandmother, I'm not going to get into the whole thing because I know some of you know it already, but she had this little black and white TV, and she was in her bed, and we used to sleep in a different room. My Uncle Mikey didn't live there anymore, so she had an extra bed. Me and my brother would sleep in the same bed. And around midnight, we heard this noise and didn't know what it was. And I got up out of bed and I walked over to my grandmother's bed and I'm like, what are you watching? And I don't remember what she said, but it was wrestling and never saw it before. And I was glued to the TV, just watching this. So the next day when I went home and, you know, my mom said, like, what did you do? We're like, oh, we played games, you know, Nanny made us eggs and, oh, we watched this wrestling stuff. The minute my mother said to my grandmother, why are you letting them watch that? That was it. That was it. My mom says I can't, then I do. You know, how many of you out there when you were growing up, and I brought this up many times before, how many of you got a cookie jar on your dining room table? You walk past it every day, multiple times a day, the cookie jar. It's filled with cookies. You walk past it, you don't even think anything about it. But the minute your mom or your dad says to you, no cookies, no cookies, as soon as they turn around, and you know what my grandmother would do? Take it. Don't tell your mother. That's what she would do. Trust me. I think there's still about 20, 30 extra pounds on my body still because of my grandmother. That's what she would do. She was awesome, man. She was awesome. I can honestly say, I mean, now my relationship with my parents is like this, unbreakable. But I can tell you that there were many years that I was closer to my grandmother than my parents. But my grandmother was the one that got me into wrestling, you know? And, you know, I hope she's looking down and, you know, she's enjoying that we still watch it. I give her full credit. I give her full credit that I'm still a wrestling fan. So thank you, Jay Calls. Great question, man. Great question. I love the fact that everybody doesn't find that boring. Like I said, a lot of other shows, move on. Move on, please. All right, we've heard it. Move on. You know. Nero Faye, any 4th of July traditions? No joke. The last 2 years, I was on vacation at Mohegan Sun Casino with my fiance the last 2 years. You might remember, I think some of you may remember this. 3 years ago, I live streamed on Twitter from my parents' stoop in front of their house, the fireworks that were going off. I streamed for an hour and a half. A lot of people loved it. And I don't know what happened to that video. I think I accidentally deleted it. Yeah, the fireworks are on the beach. Now, we originally were going to go away this weekend, but after what happened to my dad earlier this year, and tomorrow's never guaranteed, like, I don't want to pass up even one holiday not spending it with them. So I am spending it with my family this weekend. We like to barbecue. Then after, we like to watch the fireworks display. That's really only traditions. Before New York started banning fireworks, my dad used to always get crazy ass shit. And, you know, a lot of you know, when I was the honorary member at John Gotti's Fish Club in 1985, you know, that's when I first witnessed the fireworks displays that they used to do on 101st Avenue in Ozone Park. And that was insane. I mean, just being a teenager and seeing that was just surreal. But this weekend, I am going to the parents' house. We're going to barbecue. If it's warm enough, we're going to go in the pool, but I don't think it's going to be warm enough. I think it's only going to be in the 70s. But I will tell you this. I will make sure I have a fully charged phone. And I know for a fact they're going to be lighting off crazy-ass fireworks on the beach. I will be live streaming this weekend. You remember, I didn't do YouTube 3 years ago. I started YouTube in 2020. So 3 years ago, I probably would have live streamed on YouTube and not Twitter. Twitter Periscope is very, very shaky with their video because every time I seem to live stream something in my car or by my office and put it straight on Twitter, there's always video choppy. It's always choppy and skipping. So I probably will stream it from YouTube Saturday. So obviously this will happen after the sun goes down. So I would think around 9 o'clock. So, you know, that's why have your alerts set up if you subscribe to my channel. This way, if I do it, and I'm 99% sure I will, I'll live stream and you'll see the fireworks display. You'll see us hanging out. You'll see what the setup is. And you'll be blown away by how many people will be standing in front of our house. There'll probably be 100 people. And I'm not even exaggerating. I'm sure some of you remember 3 years ago. So, yeah. So that's really the traditions that I have. Anyway, I know I said I wanted to take calls all throughout the show, and I definitely know some of you want to call in. And we've already gone 90 minutes. That's how fast this shit goes sometimes. So let's do this. Let's do the contest. Oh, Lee, yeah, Periscope is only $4.80. I'll definitely do YouTube this weekend. Let's do the contest, and then we'll take calls for a half hour, and then we'll call it. Right now, it is 11:38 p.m. So 12:10 will be right around 2 hours. So we will end it at 12:10 a.m. And then remember, I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm going to do Thunderdome, so expect a partially sweaty DT, but I will have the deli hat. I will be in full gear tomorrow, and then Monday I may wear the Raw shirt. Not sure yet. So anyway, remember, the prize tonight, because a lot of you asked about having something, Brodie Lee, Luke Harper, that is the signed card. That is the actual card. That's not a picture of someone else's. It is limited to 50, so it is very rare. And look, whatever you do with the card is your choice. You want to throw it on eBay and get $200 for it, do it. You want to keep it and enjoy it, do it. Whatever you want to. You want to give it to someone else, do it. But, you know, I figured someone out there would enjoy it. So the contest, once again, very easy. For anybody tuned in late, I'm sorry that you're not going to get the full instructions. But basically, I'll just show you very quickly the example I showed before. That is 3 wrestling names, and they all flow. Each name flows into the next. Someone said kind of like Hangman, you know, but each name flows into the next. And one by one, if you notice, one by one, I was adding extra letters. And then you basically see that it ended up being Nia Jackson Riker. Get it? See it? Nia Jackson Riker. So each name leads to another name. Now, the contest has several names attached to it. I will tell you that one person on this list is more from the WCW days and is deceased. But believe me, when you start seeing the names put together, I think somebody will get it like that. It's not hard. All you got to do is post exactly the names that are on the list. So I will show you this. All right. So you could see there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 words. How many wrestlers are on this list? I'll tell you right now. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These names represent 6 wrestlers. One might even be a nickname. So as the letters are put together, You have to tell me, and you got to be precise with it. You got to tell me exactly what is that. The word, and remember, all leads. So let's say, I'm trying to think of a really good one. There's really, I mean, it's no. Here, I'll give you one earlier. AJ Lee Johnson, whatever. See, AJ Lee Johnson. If somebody's name was Johnson something, it would be AJ Lee Johnson. That's how it goes. They all flow together. It's not that hard. So I'm going to start putting the letters together. And the first person that tells me all the names that are on that list will win the card. Very easy. All right, let's start throwing the letters. Get your fingers typing, get it ready. So there you go. Let's add a letter. All right. Let me make sure that's not cut off. No, it's not cut off. Good. All right. So we just added a letter A to it. So I think it's still a little bit early. So we could add another letter to this. All right. Now I think I did a pretty good job putting that together. So take it in, absorb it. Any ideas yet? What you think those would be? Twix says he can't see anything. Look up. Look up. It's right above my head. You see, everybody sees it, right? I want to make sure you could see it. Can you see it? Chat room, let me know if you could see this. I think you can, because Nero Faye. You have to tell me what it is. Okay, you can see it. All right, good. All right, good. So let's add another letter to this. You know, it's going to come together very, very quickly. So, all right, let's add another letter. All right. Okay. Let's add another letter. I think once we're going to get to one or two letters, that it's going to all come together almost immediately. It's hard right now, but believe me, once you get like one or two of the words, the rest it'll fall into place. Let's add another letter. Okay. We're getting really close. There is a K in there. I just added a K. You are correct, sir. Christopher Segovia, there is a K. All right, let's start putting this together. All right, let's add another one. Let's add another one. Okay. Have you figured it out yet? Not yet. All right. Trust me, get ready. Because like I said, maybe one or two more letters, you're going to be like, oh, shit, that's what it is. Ready? Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Now, you see the first word? The first word is 5 letters. Now, you have 3 of those 5 letters. See? Space A-T, space D. Let's add another letter. Still can't figure it out? You can't buy a vowel. Let's keep going. Let's add another one. I'll add, let's keep going. Hold on. Okay. I think I'm getting ready. Getting ready to stop. Okay. Now somebody's going to get it. Now someone's going to get it. I'll give you a couple of seconds to let it sink in. And if you don't get it, then I'll add another letter. Remember, it all flows together. That first word, there's only one letter missing. Nah, steak and eggs, you'll get it, steak. I'll add another letter. I'm telling you, somebody's going to get it literally any second. Okay, Jay Carlos is on the right path. No, maybe they might have to add Okay. All right. See, Cerebral is on the right path. All right. See, now you're getting the deal, right? You see how it flows? What you just said? Blah, 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 blah. I know people right now on audio is like, fuck, man. Well, that's why I like doing the video. Let's add another letter. Ah, there you go. Come on, somebody's got to get that. You see how it's coming together? Dayhawk, you're on the right path, but no, come on, look at the last 3 words. Oh, I think somebody got it. No, Harris, it's not complete, Harris. It's not complete. It's not complete. You're missing 2. Let's add another letter. Come on, man. Aided arc. Come on. Oh, no. Oh, wait. Wow. Yeah, we got a winner. I know it was difficult, but, $200 card, we got to make it a little challenging. All right, before we announce the winner, I have to rewind because last time there was a little bit of confusion. Let me make sure no one else. Okay, hold on. All right, I want to make sure. Okay. I will tell you that the person, yeah. Let me finish the phrase and then I'll announce the winner. I think you could all figure it out. There you go, see? There you go. See? Steak and eggs. Steak and eggs got it. Congrats, Steak and Eggs. Rated RK Brodie Lee Marshall Von Erich. Come on, that's not that difficult. See how it comes together? I know, look, the first time we ever do something like this, it's probably the most challenging. But you see how the letters come together? You want to know something? You know what the original contest was going to be? Rated RK Brodie Lee on rough. I thought it was a little too easy. See? I think that do we keep it but make it easier next time, or do we just not do this again? I'll leave it up to you. But you see, it wasn't RKO. It was instead of rated RKO, it's rated RK Bro, rated RK Brodie Lee Marshall Von Erich. Marshall Von Erich, Lee Marshall, Brodie Lee, RK Bro, rated R. All right, so everybody's saying keep it, just make it easier. Like I said, the original contest was going to be rated RK Brodie Lee on rough. Rated RK Brodie Lee on rough. I thought it was a little too easy. So, look, it was just me brainstorming. Like I said, I want to do a contest that is different, that not just, let's just pick somebody at random. I mean, that's suspenseful for 5 seconds, But, so that is the answer. So Steak and Eggs, email me, dontony@dontony.com, and I will get the card out. If you email me, I'll get it out tomorrow. So you got 7 days to claim it. Yeah. Lee Marshall was in AWA. He was in WCW. He was also the voice of Tony the Tiger, the Frosted Flake. Great. That was him. When he died, Tony the Tiger died with him. Everybody's saying, like, Del Wilkes is the Patriot. Everybody else is an imitation. Same thing with Lee Marshall and Tony the Tiger. All right, so we will do this again. Obviously, we can't do it next week. I'll be on vacation. The week later, we'll do it again. I will make it easier. I will tell you that an Ultimate Warrior plaque, I don't know if I should start messing with it now. Let me see. Just give me 1 second. This from the Warrior store. See, it's got the Warrior. This is framed. I always keep it covered for protection. When this is given away, it'll be that contest. Sorry for the gap in audio. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff here physically, and I like being able to give it back to all of you. I mean, you support everything on this channel. So, I don't know how many others out there do it. I know some people do it for publicity. I don't do it for publicity. Trust me, if I was doing it for publicity, there'd be 1,000 people in here right now. I like those who, tune in and really enjoy themselves and are here, I look, if somebody wins, they definitely have every right to get whatever they won. But I like, that all of you that stick around get this. So anyway, let's, for the last 20 minutes, let's take some calls. Let's get this set up over here. There we go. And may have to take the chat room down for a little bit. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah. So let me grab the phone. It was funny? The other day when we did the show, I forgot to take Do Not Disturb off on Monday. And when I checked the call list earlier, there was like 290 calls missed. And I realized people were calling the number like after we were off the air, or maybe I forgot to put it back on Do Not Disturb. And I felt bad because with the Do Not Disturb, it should just disconnect the call immediately. And people must have just kept getting voicemail over and over and over again. And the messages are not screened. So shout out to Jay Broney and everybody else who's tuning in on other mediums out there. So let's lift this Do Not Disturb. Like I said, you could ask anything what's on your mind, anything. Just, have the question ready so we could get through as many as we can. And, let's keep the calls, a little on the short side so we could get into many. So 866. Ooh, that was interesting. Hey, you're on. Who's this?
Hey, it's JD in Pittsburgh. How you doing, Doc?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much. Got a question to ask you.
Sure.
Who do you think the big name star in AEW is going to be, however, possibly between now and the end of the year, however? I mean, we keep seeing Kenny Omega, we keep seeing Hangman Page, Miro, all these guys. However, who do you think is the big name star that's watch out for going in between now and the end of the year, in your opinion?
I honestly think that Hangman Page is going to be the one. He is going to be the guy because they need someone that really connects with the fans. And look, Moxley did that for a decent run. And, it's a lot of it before COVID, but then COVID hit and that kind of like screwed up his run. They need somebody more homegrown. I mean, last night, the ratings came out and Guevara versus MJF was the highest rating of the night. And those two are the future of AEW as long as AEW keeps him under contract. Jungle Boy as well. So Hangman Page is ready. He's ready. And they have just kept him on the sidelines. They put him, the storyline even with Kenny Omega, when Kenny Omega turned on him, I mean, it just felt like it didn't go anywhere. I mean, yes, COVID kind of affected that, but just like Orange Cassidy, they know Orange Cassidy is prime money when live fans are in attendance. So they held back on Orange Cassidy as well. But between Hangman Page and Orange Cassidy, Hangman Page is ready. You got to strike now. And Hangman Page, I don't know him personally. I don't know if he's got any type of an agent or not. But I always felt he comes across as a person that if WWE gave him a nice offer when his contract was up with AEW, that I wouldn't be surprised if he signed with WWE. So the fact he's with this company, now they got to do something. And I think he is the guy that they are going to focus around. They focus around a lot of people, but he's going to be the guy closing out 2021, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. Have they had an update on Rebel's injury? How
Yes. Yes, dislocated kneecap. Much, I mean, that's painful also, but definitely better than a tear or a break. So, we definitely wish her the best. I mean, I know, we joke a little bit, maybe she's not the greatest in the ring, but you don't ever want to see someone injured. So it is a dislocated kneecap.
Yeah. Okay. And finally, how am I going to say, how's the Black and Braun Strowman going to show up at some point in AEW?
Wait, what was that?
Aleister Black and Braun Strowman. Do you think they're going to show up in AEW possibly? Aleister
Black, I know everybody thinks that he's a lock in AEW. I personally see him in NWA. I didn't see him in NWA a couple of weeks ago. Now I just picture him and Nick Aldis going at it. I could see AEW making a strong play for Aleister Black. The problem is, I don't know what they would do with him. I mean, I can't see them putting him above Kenny Omega. I don't see them putting him above, Guevara. Above what is he? Is he going to fall into the TNT Championship? I mean, I don't know. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if WWE brings him back. I think he brings it back because he's been very professional about this release, and he's saying all the right things. Would not be surprised if Aleister Black ends up back in WWE.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
All right, my friend. Have a good night. Great call. You know what? I apologize. If you remember earlier in the show, I actually lowered a volume. I didn't realize I lowered it all the way down, so I couldn't hear some of what he was saying towards the end, but I think I fixed it now. So 833-366-8686 or 225-366-8669 if you want to call in. I'm looking at the time. We got a few minutes. I obviously, like I said, I don't want to end the show abruptly. By the way, let me also add to what he was asking. I don't see Braun Strowman going into AEW. If he was 5 years older and more of, like someone backstage only looking to work part-time, very, very limited, I could see that. I really don't see Braun Strowman in AEW. They bring him in. I just don't. They don't have a good reputation with big men. But anyway, let's connect. Hey, you're on. Who's this? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Don Tony?
Yes.
Hey, it's Steven from Mass.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, real quick before I get into my question, I signed up for Thunderdome, so I should be on Friday.
All right.
I think Friday and Monday show. How do you know that like you're on like TV and stuff? Because I believe I was on it last Friday too. And I noticed that there was like a red thing that popped up on my screen and it said that I was live. Is that what's supposed to happen? Like when you know that you're going to be on like the television and stuff like that?
Yes. See, the thing is, you can't pick where you're going to be. But you have to look out for yourself. See, me, it's a little bit easier because the New York shirt that I wear it's a blue. But with my lighting, that blue stands out a little bit more. So, when I'm doing this, the only problem with me is when I'm doing the Deli Man, I need my glasses. I can't see all that great without these are reading glasses, but I really can't see that great without them. So during Thunderdome, I can't use glasses. And I can't put them inside the mask either. So nobody sees it, but I'm squinting, trying to see if I could see something. But, eventually I was able to spot it. But like I said last week, what happened with me was they had me all the way in the top. And I know Papo Jr. got a funny screenshot. It looked like Carmella was looking at me and I was looking back at her. It wasn't the case, but it looked funny. But halfway in, I was a little bit more to like one side on the screen. And somebody got on my earpiece and said, could you please sit in the center? And I know 100% fact that was not directed towards everybody. That was directed just towards me. So I said, yeah, no problem, no problem. So I went into the center, and the next thing I know, they put me right on the floor, right to the left of the announcer's table, right behind the ring steps. So once I noticed that I was there, then, you're supposed to react. Like if they brawl into the steps, you're supposed to be like this. Or, if Carmella's cutting a promo and she's saying she's the best ever, you're supposed to go like this. Me, when it's a 2 count, I go like this. You just have fun. You have fun. I mean, I act like an overgrown kid when I'm in it. But it's a nice little workout. And when it goes to commercial, they will show you some videos. I don't know who's going to be in our earpiece tomorrow. I have a feeling it'll be Ted DiBiase again. But you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it.
That's who I've been hearing the last couple different times, because I've been on it, but the last week was the first time that I seen that little red thing pop up, because before that, I would just be on it, and I would just hear like Ted DiBiase, and then I'd hear like what you're talking about. He'd be like, all right, guys, let's hear some cheers for this guy, and let's hear some boos for this guy. So it's pretty much like what you're talking about. I heard all that too, and then he'd be like, all right, we're on like a commercial break real quick, and then be like, all right, we'll come back. I just always not sure like how long they give you on there and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow they want me in at 7:15. I obviously have to put everything on, because if I just before they start, if I'm just like this, they're not going to put me anywhere visible. So at 7:15, I have to have the full deli shit set up. But it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, and for me, tomorrow it said that I'm supposed to be in there at 9:45.
Okay, so right before the main event, that's good.
10:45.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's fun.
Oh, I will, because I know we're going to be going back to live crowds soon. And I wanted to ask you, because I also seen online that AEW and I think Ring of Honor, they're supposed to be on like Family Feud. Did you see something like that?
Yeah, I don't know who the cast is. Yeah, I don't know who the cast is going to be yet. Once I get the actual teams, then I'll let everybody know. But yeah, they're supposed to do a little bit of Family Feud. They're doing a lot of celebrity shows coming up.
And I'm asking you that because, like, do you think that that then maybe they would work with like Ring of Honor and stuff? Like, because I know they tried to say that Forbidden Door stuff with like Impact and stuff like that. But you think that they could work with like Ring of Honor and like MLW and like just like they did with Impact, or do you think that after like this Impact experience that they're just gonna focus on their own guys because like they have like fans and stuff like that, and they're just gonna focus on their own roster?
Anything's possible, but with Family Feud, they obviously have to compete against another wrestling company, and WWE was not going to go along with that. So I don't know if it goes beyond Ring of Honor. I mean, just the Family Feud. Anything's possible, but I think once you have your live fans back, you got to focus on your own product. And like I said, by the end of the year, you're not going to see Impact and AEW doing what they're doing now. You will not see that. It's time for these promotions to focus on their own roster. You want to tease it, down the line, once in a blue moon, that's fine. But not this 4 or 5 month continuing storyline, because it's not good.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also know, too, that they were saying that Don Callis, he's not with Impact anymore. So I'm wondering if after all that stuff's over, if he's going to stay on Impact, on AEW, or if they're just going to do something else.
He is. In fact, Sanjay Dutt just joined up with AEW also as a producer in the back. I'm still trying to get a little bit more info. Yeah, I'm trying to get some more info on there first. But, no, Don Callis will still stick around. I mean, he's good asset. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well,
it's going to be a good 5 months.
Oh no, definitely, and like you talked about, how about they're going to be in Boston? They're actually advertising it unless it changes that they're supposed to be in Boston around September, I believe.
Yeah, they are.
So, unless they end up pushing it back, it should just be in September. So
yeah, it'll
I'm
stick
looking
to
forward
September.
to that.
Yeah, it'll stick to September.
All right.
Yeah. All right, my friend. Have a good weekend. Have a good
thanks.
4th. All the best.
Yeah, you too, man. And enjoy it, and maybe I'll see you on Thunderdome tomorrow if you're in there long enough.
Yeah, definitely. Just post something in the chat. If you spot yourself, let me know where you're at.
All right, yeah, I will. I'll try to look out for the red thing on my screen like you talked about, because I seen that the last time that I was in there when Edge was coming out. So I seen it on there. So I'm assuming that's what I need to look out for. So if I see that and I see where I'm at, I'll let you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good, my friend.
All right, take care, man.
Take care. All right. I realized that my ringer was still on. Good evening, you're on. Who's this?
Don Tony, it's your old friend, the Guardian of Chaos.
What's going on, Chaos?
Well, I first off, Don, I appreciate you taking the phone call. And I just want to, if you can give me a minute or two, number one, I want to give you a little praise because I've been a fan of yours, Don Tony, for, I want to say, at least a good 10 years, maybe longer.
Thank you.
Back to the 90s, I remember you when I was traveling the circuit in the Northeast New England area. So I do remember you. And your shows, Don Tony, all your listeners and people in the chat, I have you in my home 3 to 4 times a week. And I feel like we're such good friends. And I'd like to say hello to a couple of people out there, whether it be Austin or SoFly. You got a great group of guys, Don Tony.
I thank you for that. And you know what? They're all great. You're great. And like I said, it sucks that just having a good time is frowned upon. I mean, like I said before, this simple little Jericho cruise, you have people just excited just to get to go to a wrestling thing and enjoy yourself and get your mind off your problems, and you're mocked for that. You want to go to a wrestling show, maybe COVID is not completely gone and people knock you for that. It just sucks that, and let's be honest, I mean, since you know, especially my history, I was very, very toxic back in the day and probably big time as far as an antagonist with that. It's just over the years.
Don, let me say this, Don Tony. I followed you since the 90s. I wouldn't say you were toxic. Now, were you ballsy? Did you have a lot of edge to you? Yeah. Were you a little more aggressive? That's the Don Tony I remember. And now you're a much more laid back guy, and the show shows that. And look at all the followers, and you've been exploding on YouTube. And again, I couldn't appreciate it more. But what I would like to talk about, Don, is Del Wilkes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just talking to Del on Sunday. I'm a part of the WWAB podcast network, which is Wrestling with Anything But. It's on 7 nights a week live. Mondays, it's Ken Patera. Tuesdays, it's Glacier Ray Lloyd and Bill DeMott. Nice. Wednesdays, it's Paul Roma. Thursdays, it was Don Morocco. And pretty soon, it's going to be announced, it's going to be Mark Henry. Fridays, it's Duke the Dumpster Drosy. And then Sundays was Unmasking the Truth with Del Wilkes. And let me tell you something about Del. I heard you talking earlier, he had a 9-10 year career. He didn't do much in the WWE. You are 100% correct. He did okay in WCW. He was decent in Global Force, but most of his, and you know this, DT,
All Japan.
Most of All Japan is where he was really successful and had a good career. And then I'm glad you touched on his career at South Carolina, because he was an All-American. This was a guy like all of us in our past have had our demons and been able to overcome them. Del Wilkes, as you said, DT, was a great guy. He passed in his sleep, is what I was told by the guys. I got the call not early this morning, mid-morning, I got the call from the rest of the guys on the podcast, and they're just devastated, DT. And he was just a great guy. We all have our pasts. We all have our demons. But he overcame them and ended up becoming an unbelievable example of positivity in life.
Yeah. It's like I said, I think what I had said earlier is, he is like the prime example of someone who, falls and falls hard. I mean, really falls hard, but got himself back on his feet. And one thing that, and I saw this right away. I mean, I did not know the man. I met him once or twice a long time ago. But the one thing that I said tonight that I noticed immediately is that no matter how many demons he had because of pain back in the day, that never altered his personality, that everybody still loved the guy. I mean, everybody just got along with him. I mean, you don't want to see a friend, get, into something like that. But let's also be honest too. 90s, 2000s, there was a lot of issues with pain medication and abuse and,
absolutely, DT,
you just want to numb
especially in the
pain.
90s.
Like I said earlier, he wasn't doing it to party. He was doing it to numb pain. And that I could relate to 1,000%.
Exactly. And you were in the scene, DT, in the late 90s and early 2000s, and especially during the Attitude Era. I had a lot of chance to travel with the guys on the independent circuit, and you're right, the drug use was rampant. And these guys, most of them weren't doing it for recreational use. They were doing it because of the injuries that you get in this business. A lot of people take this business for granted. And unless you've been in the business or stepped in the ring, you have no idea of what you're talking about. You've been in the ring. You were a manager. You took the bumps. You've been around a long time. And people have to understand the lifestyle. And that's why Evan Ginsberg's movie, 350 Days.
I love
DT,
Evan Ginsberg. Met him many times back in the day. Awesome guy.
It's funny that you should mention that, Evan Ginsberg, because he was on he's on the WWAB as a part of this Green Room tournament that we're doing on Saturday nights, a 64-person tournament, just like March Madness. We have everyone from John Amos from Good Times fame, Todd Bridges, Sally Kirkland, Mark Henry, John Goodman, Norm from Cheers, Antonio Banderas, Timothy Busfeld. They're all lined up in this tournament along with Ken Patera, and Del Wilkes was in it. And it's just an amazing thing. And Del Wilkes was an incredible guy. And just to be able to talk to these guys and travel with them in the circuit and have a bond and a friendship.
It's an honor.
And being in the business for 35 years. Yeah. I've been in for 35 years, DT. I'm preaching to the choir here.
No, but it's an honor. And it's one thing is, you got it inside here. And, ultimately, it's going to be our time sometime. But for now, you got your memories here with him, and you got it up here, and you carry that on. And the one thing you know that he's looking down and seeing all the love. I don't know how he perceived as far as maybe the WWF at the time and us. I don't know if he ever envisioned to have this kind of reaction and love given back. I mean, South Carolina, I was really blown away by the number of articles they did today, focusing on outside of wrestling. Bringing up, that's why when I was doing a little research and sort of Bob Hope stuff and then sort of video clip, I'm like, okay, you don't get to meet that guy unless you did something special, So it sucks. It sucks that someone passing is when you then realize how much love is given to that person. But, he's got to be looking down right now and smiling from ear to ear, seeing like, they didn't forget about me. and they're not.
You are right about that, DT. I haven't ever heard anyone. Now, back in the day, people talked about his pill usage for the pain back in the 90s. I haven't ever heard anyone say a bad word about Del Wilkes. And the social media today, whether it be Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, was exploding with Del Wilkes, and that just goes to show you he had more of an impact outside of the ring, DT, as you just referred to, than he did inside the ring. And he even had a segment on his show on Sunday nights called Wrestling with Faith with Pastor Andy McDaniel, who's the one who called me today about Del's passing. And that just goes to show you how far he had come in life and how successful he was. And I'm glad you're one of the few guys in this podcast world that brings out stuff like this instead of people just wanting to get the click, like you always say. And so you're one of the guys that's true and genuine. And when someone passes, you make sure that you recognize it. So I just wanted to call and put that out there for Del. And I want you to know that on Monday nights, you and Mish, it can't be beat, DT. I appreciate you taking the call.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Much love. And, once I start, configuring this, which I'm pretty ready to go, we'll definitely have some more combos here, for sure.
I appreciate it, DT. Hey, and big love and shout out to the guys in the chat room.
Have a great 4th, my friend. Stay well.
You too. Stay safe, DT.
You do the same. Take care. That was awesome. I always talk to the guy in one sentences, 3-4 words here and there. And you got to hear it, someone that knew him well, knew him personally, still kept in contact with him. And, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Hey, you're on. Who's this?
Beautiful. It's Edwin.
Hey, Edwin, what's going on?
Pretty good, man. How you been?
All right, not bad. What's on your mind?
Okay. Yeah. I've been on Thunderdome a few times, but man, it's so freaking annoying the way they tell you to cheer and the boo. I think I purposely get myself kicked out a few times because my two favorites are Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. I don't give a crap. I love cheering for these guys.
That happened to me in the hotel room, and I went to. I remember when it was last year. It was late in the year, but I went to Mohegan, and I was in the hotel room, and I had let everyone know that I was in Thunderdome, and I was in the hotel room. So, I have my fiance sitting right next to me. Now, when I'm doing the shows here, the door is closed. She doesn't know what's going on for the most part. She can hear things, but she can't see it. But I'm in the hotel room, and they're like, all right, everybody, big boos for Roman Reigns. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit right next to her and go for 5 minutes. So I just sat there like this. Next thing you know, boop, disconnected.
I don't know. Because you were there, and I nothing against the Street Profits, but I was getting a little tired of them. I don't want to be cheering for them all the time.
Exactly.
Things like that. Yeah, don't remind you of I always felt like they always control things like during the 80s, during Challenge and Superstars, where they would pan to the crowd for who they're booing and who they're cheering. Yeah. That's what it kind of reminds me of back in those days.
To me, it always reminds me of one night. I wish I could play it on YouTube. I'm afraid of getting hit with flags. But the night that TNA had the two producers come out, and they said that everybody in the building were cast members. They wanted you to boo for certain people and cheer for others, no expletives. If you want to say BS, I remember it clear. They said, don't say bullshit, don't say BS, but say BS. And people were not happy. It always reminded me of that. But because this is COVID, the only reason why I gave this a pass was because you don't have live fans there in person, and they can't hear us because the digital audio would just sound a mess. They're not going to have, right now I have 2 channels of audio playing, you and me. You have 600 people in Thunderdome. When they actually say, all right, everybody, loud boos, They can't hear us. They can hear us, but the people at home can't hear us, because then you would need 600 channels of open audio channels to put that on the TV, and then you got to mix it and try to level it. Our audio doesn't come out there, but they want us to try to represent what live fans would actually do there. That's why I kind of gave it a pass, but I'm with you, man. You know, they're like, all right, everybody, big cheers for this guy. And I'm like, no.
I was like, I used to get on I can't stand the fans because, I was a Cena fan. I'm a Cena fan. It's like, oh, we hate Cena because, he's not as cool as he used to be and stuff like that. Now I kind of relate to those people now. It's
exactly.
Like, Roman's mad cool. Even Roman. I was a Roman fan,
Yeah.
When he was a good guy, I got tired of that crap. Fans were trying to take over the show, but now I relate to some of them now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Fuck those guys.
I never in a million years ever would think.
I understand.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Well, are you doing it tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. What happened? It sucks. I work Saturdays. That's the.
Oh yeah.
Well, everyone doing their weekend, I gotta be working. So when it says have a good weekend, I say, man, fuck you. Man, I'm going to work.
Well,
I'm probably like the first half hour, and if Roman's in there, definitely gonna be cheering for him.
Yeah.
So see what they try to do.
Yeah. Well, my friend, nice for you to call in. Great convo, man. And this makes me feel good because, again, Thunderdome, there's nothing beats live fans in attendance. But, under the circumstances, it's kind of fun to do it. We have a good time, and, we do.
I mock it sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm a mixed Daniel Bryan fan, but I do the yes. When he came out.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I like it. You could just lay back and just enjoy yourself a little bit,
Yeah. Well, it is. You can do sometimes.
Yeah. Well, listen, my friend, have a good 4th of July. Don't work too hard.
Well, I'll try. Okay.
Take care.
You take care of you.
Be well.
Right.
Stay safe.
Right.
Tell you, I love everybody that calls in for all the shows, but, it's nice to be able to end the show tonight on some, look, the Del Wilkes passing is sad. Unfortunately for most of us wrestling fans, including yours truly, he has not been in our lives for so many years. But the one thing is, you just know, I know firsthand about addiction with pain medication. And I've been very, very transparent about it. Sometimes people think I'm a little too transparent about it. But I still take painkillers now. My body, without question, is addicted to it. But what I did was I got my spinal stimulator put in, and I did other means to prevent myself from needing that level of pain medication. But, believe me, when you get a car accident like that and you're in the pain you're in, I would have never been able to do any of this indie wrestling stuff if I wasn't on painkillers. You have no idea. There would be no way. I physically just could not move. So I know what it feels like to be in excruciating pain, and the idea that you could just take a pill and feel 1,000 times better, and then your body gets used to it. So then you take 2. Then your body gets used to it. And then instead of taking it every 6 hours, you take it every 4 hours. And your body gets used to it. And then you ask your doctor to increase the dosage. And now because of recent years with addiction, getting out of control and dealing, and it's an epidemic, now doctors have to go on a registry and they have to log every pill that they give. And then you hear in the news about doctors getting arrested for overprescribing people. My pain management doctor is petrified to give me pain medication because he drug tests me. Every 6 months, he puts a swab in my mouth. I have to keep it in my mouth for 10 minutes, and he sends it out to make sure that I'm not taking any other drugs, that I'm not doing this for partying reasons. Then what happens is your doctor doesn't want to give you more. Your body's getting used to it. You're getting in more pain. You're getting older. You're getting more arthritis. You put on a couple extra pounds. So what do? You go online and you try to find a company in India that'll ship you some under the table. Then what happens? You use all that up. It's a downward spiral. And the fact that this guy hit that far down, you know, and he played football and other stuff. I never did any of that stuff other than, you know, recreational. So the fact that he was able to dust himself off, go through rehab, try to find other ways to alleviate pain and succeed for years and years and years, you know, just to die at 59. That sucks. No matter how you look at it. Reminds me of Chris Candido. Chris Candido had an addiction, and it was mostly because of pain. I always told that story in XPW. I'm not going to tell it here now. It would take way too long. But I witnessed him getting in my car with a pair of crutches. And I'm saying to myself, how's this guy going to fight Shane Douglas tonight in Philly? And he had to take some medication for the pain. And he took the medication, and 3 hours later, he's running the ropes. And you could see him, He said, fans are coming, got to do it. And then halfway through the match, I guess he had a hernia explode, and you actually see it bulging in his midsection. And it's not fun. The guy cleaned himself up and went through intense therapy to beat that. And then he passes away because of what happened with the broken leg and everything like that. You know, sucks. It absolutely sucks. Nick Casman, can I give Ken Terminator by DQ his last $2? Sure. Seriously, I can. If he gives me like a PayPal address or something, I'd be more than happy to do that. May have to wait a few days. No, but shout out to you, Nick. And thank you for being a part of the family, too. Big shout out to the La Nostra Familia. I know it's a little cut off, but Nick definitely deserves to chill with us for a little bit. Edwin G. Oh, thank you very much, my friend. Thank you for your service also. Happy 4th of July to you and your family. Stay safe. And, I'm really looking forward to this holiday. I mean, I really thought, and I brought this up before, I'm not into politics anymore, which is a dramatic change from a couple of years ago. But I honestly thought on July 4th, we were going to have our president go out there and say, July 4th, 1776, we got our freedom. And then July 4th, 2021, we got our freedom from COVID-19. Little premature, but I'm going to really enjoy this weekend with family. And look at the case of Del Wilkes, man. I don't want to keep bringing that up, but just think of that. Just imagine his family, 59 years old. My father is 72. And he had major heart surgery early in the year. I don't know how much time I got left with him. Imagine his family, Del Wilkes, and he was only 59. That's why, seriously, man, I know this sounds kind of cliche, but if you got family members out there that you kind of like don't keep in contact like you used to, don't waste that time. Don't take weeks and months to reconnect, because the last thing you want to ever have is have someone pass and be like, look at The Rock, with Rocky Johnson. I always bring that up. And The Rock said that he wished he had that one chance to say goodbye. One more, just that. I don't ever want to be in that situation that if something happens to one of my parents, that I say, if I only talk to them a little bit more. I talk to my mom at least once or twice every day, and I see them once or twice every week. And, that doesn't change. Thank God I got someone, who has a very close relationship with her family also. So, Edwin, again, thank you, my friend. Thank you. Have a great 4th of July. Are they, is this like new cryptocurrency? Just exchanging super chats back and forth? The money keeps bouncing back and forth. Figuratively. Ken Terminated by DQ wanted a shout out and thank you to Nick Kasman, Austin Nance, Harris B, Nero Fay, the Segovia brothers for being cool. I think the Segovias are twins, right? So I pay attention. And fuck you to SoFly and Big T and James Pasco. Hey, all 3 of those guys are good people, man. Something tells me he might be joking a little bit. I hope he's joking a little bit. I hope he's joking. Want to give a shout out to our channel members. You'll see some new names added. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to add some more retro audio. The procedure is still fairly new, so I got to get used to some of the steps. But within the next, say, 2 weeks, you'll start seeing these episodes banged out, one after the other. So I think I'm going to look. In fact, before I go to sleep tonight, I'm going to look and see if I could pinpoint that episode when the spinner belt came out. And I like to listen to the episode before I post it. I mean, like I said, you'll never, ever find an episode where I ever called anybody like the N-word or anything like that. But I know some of my language was a lot more salty back in the day. And that's not acceptable in 2021. So, I don't want to cut anything out. But, once in a while I may have to do a beep, So I don't know if I'll be up late enough tonight to be able to, go through that episode and make sure. But I'll probably just post it. You all enjoy it. And then maybe over the weekend when I'm a little bit, having some downtime, then I'll listen to it a little bit more closely and check it out. So anyway, we ended up doing calls for almost an hour, about 45, 50 minutes. We are at the 2 hour and 27 minute mark. So I think I am going to jet out for the night. Don't forget, tomorrow I will be right back here. We'll do the SmackDown recap. Maybe we'll have some funny stories about Thunderdome. I'm looking at the chat right before we go. One last time before we get out of here. Let me put this back like this. And let me put this like this. So if any of you out there want to type a shout out to someone before I jet out of here, everybody could see it. Charlie, my parents live in New York. They have property in Marco Island. I don't think Marco Island is anywhere near where this collapse was. So, and that's terrible because that the 100+ people that are missing, none of them survived that. There's going to be major lawsuits. There's going to be investigations. I will not be surprised if you see a couple of arrests. Trust me. Don't be surprised if you see a couple of people arrested. It's not just Florida. There's a lot of places where, things are not up to code and they think, it's no danger of coming down or anything like that. And most times it doesn't happen. But then you get something like this and you got 150 people just like that. No fault of their own. So we got to keep them in our prayers, the families. So I'm not excited about a new Sopranos show. I never got into the original one. And I know if I watched The Sopranos religiously, I probably would enjoy it. But the thing is, where I come from, and I'm not saying this to try to act better than anybody, but where I come from, I have my share of real gangsters, cardboard gangsters, wannabe gangsters, former gangsters, people who think they still are gangsters, but they're not gangsters. And look, here. I know this is kind of messed up, but I always told you that I had this guy on my, I don't know if I played it ever before, but this gentleman passed away about 2 years ago, and he was one of my customers. And we used to always joke with each other about how he talked. And if you hear his voice, he sounds like the you know what, maybe it's not right. You know what? Let's see. I don't know if I could say, let's see if we could get it. Let's see. I don't hear it. Oh, I know why. Maybe if I put the volume up. Let's see. Yeah. Just listen to the first couple of seconds. Yeah.
Morning, Anthony. This is Thomas. Okay, Anthony. Try to get.
Hey, how you doing, Anthony? This is Tommy. That's how everybody talks in my neighborhood. Hey, Anthony, how you doing, Anthony? This is Tommy. So when you're around, and a lot of them are good people, but when you're around people like that for years and decades, and you see The Sopranos, and a lot of it is sensationalized and exaggerated, sometimes grossly exaggerated, it's hard to get into it. That's why people hated Travolta as Gotti. I swear on God, I should have recorded it. I mean, I don't think I was doing YouTube yet. But when Travolta visited this neighborhood, because I only live about 5 blocks from where John Gotti lived, and family members of his went to my wedding in 1999. But when Travolta came to Howard Beach, and I guess to visit the neighborhood, go to the house and all that, I saw with my own eyes people in the neighborhood in front of my father's deli. Hey, did you hear? You hear that motherfucking Travolta's coming to the neighborhood? Tuh. They spit on the floor. I mean, literally just went, tuh, like Iron Sheik. Ha, puh. They hated that this guy came to this neighborhood. So it's a weird neighborhood. It's a very weird neighborhood. It's not as bad as what it used to be, but it's a weird neighborhood still. So, yeah, Chaos. Hey, how you doing? This is Tommy. I mean, that's how the neighborhood is. That's how a lot of people talk. Yeah, I didn't watch Gotti. It's like the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. Like those 2 movies are at the top of my list. Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, Travolta's John Gotti movie, and anything Jersey Shore. Those 3 things will never cross my eyes. Seriously. If you really want to torture me, tie me to a chair like Robot Chicken, put the toothpicks in my eyes so I can't close them, and then put on Travolta's Gotti or Jersey Shore or what other movie did I just say? Now I'm getting brain fog. It's time for me to go to bed. So I'm going to get out of here. Everyone, much love as always. One last time before I go, if you enjoyed the show tonight, hit that like button. Like, share, subscribe. If you're around tomorrow night after SmackDown, join me here. We'll talk SmackDown. We'll get into any other news tidbits. And if I get the quarter-hour ratings for AEW, which I should, then I'll get into them also. So, but anyway, everyone, it's been great. Steak and Eggs, congrats again for winning that contest. AS 7607, your items will go out tomorrow. Still love how this guy drew that. Post office probably got all pissed off at him. So, all right, everybody. Good night. Be well. And ciao.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the host. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's alright, he's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.